Lagom presents The Good Girl's Guide to Being a Dick. Written by Alexandra Reinwarth and read by Imogen Wilde. Introduction. It all began when I said fuck you to Catherine. I should mention that I normally don't say things like that to people. Generally, I'm not that generous with invitations to have sex. Not under any circumstances. But Catherine, it so happens, is one of those people who forever gives you the feeling that you have just made a big mistake and that you now owe them. Do you know people like that? People who are always complaining but never change anything. People who suck out your life energy like young children suck Ribena out of its carton with a straw. Catherine loves dwelling in a valley of tears. If you took her at face value, you would think she was depressed. But during our relationship, I came to realise that she is not at all depressed. She is just a very silly cow. Life seemed to permanently deal a bad hand to Catherine. Her job was lousy, her relationship with her boyfriend was on the brink, her family habitually blamed her for everything, her future was bleak, and she was at a complete loss in terms of what to do. But while I was busy worrying about her, Catherine went on a cruise, had lots of parties, and married her boyfriend. One time I felt so sorry for her. My marriage is practically over. That I suggested that she go on a city break to Venice with her husband. It was totally my idea for the two of them to do something nice together. I looked after their dog, watered their plants, and topped up their seawater pool with salt. Catherine's house is not exactly around the corner from mine. Also, her house is very big, modern, and extremely expensively kitted out, despite the huge financial commitment she is burdened with. Catherine, so she claims, is far too good for this world. She once had building work done and paid the workmen on time. Then she boasted how virtuous she was that she didn't make them wait for the money for 3 months or fob them off with half the sum. I thought of the man's family, she said with tears in her eyes, looking like a saint. When we met up after the Venice trip, she was in a bit of a hurry. She urgently had to take her husband to his massage because the beds in the hotel I had recommended were a catastrophe. The whole trip had been a disaster, but she had coped as usual and put on a brave face. When we next met up, her mother was ill, which she told me about in a voice that one could only assume meant her mum would pop her clogs the very next day. In short, there is always something going wrong for Catherine. Everything is a heavy burden, nothing less. As it happened, Mum just had a headache or an ingrown toenail or whatever. Do you get the gist? It was always the same. Catherine was all about Catherine. At some point, I realised I didn't like orbiting Catherine's world like a satellite anymore. Because I am a person too. I have no idea why I didn't send Catherine packing a long time ago, even though my partner Elle had suggested that I do so time and again. At first I wasn't aware of the fact that she was using me, and I also simply tried to avoid confrontations. But during an overhaul of my life while I undertook my happiness project, I came to the conclusion I need to get rid of Catherine. I need to become a bit of a dick. Until then, I had never finished a friendship with a female friend. Ever. The normal course of things is that the two of you don't get on so well anymore. You meet up less and less often, and then the whole thing quietly disappears. Done. No one is harmed, these things happen. But the kind of friends who suck you dry like a leech, you simply can't get rid of easily. I wasn't quite sure how I could manage this letting go of a friend. How could I behave firmly without wriggling like a worm on a hook? I found the mere idea of it so awkward. Elle made a very pragmatic suggestion. You just go to her and say, Catherine, you're doing my head in and I don't want to see you anymore. Then he stopped, thought about it and added, You stupid cow. Elle never liked Catherine. I know there are people who would do exactly that, but not me. On the contrary, I play for the team that forever apologises when someone pushes them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?